Okay, so this is my second try because my other video got banned for some reason by TikTok. So I gotta watch the language. All right. What does your comment have to do with what I'm talking about? Absolutely nothing. And if you see the lady behind me, whom is the Black Afro Vice President of Colombia, this is going to be my most strongest counter argument yet that you cannot defeat. All right, so let's go into what he's saying again. So, Mr. Mervyn Persons, it says here the U.S. Immigration and Customs arrested Juan Sebastian Acosta Gacha, a Colombian national, because he had materials of little people, if you know what I mean. And okay, so let me ask you something. What does that have to do with what I've been posting about? You posting it on my comment section. What am I supposed to do with that exactly? I'm not gonna get mad. What am I supposed to do with that? Send him to prison. That's it. Anybody who commits crimes, especially of a heinous nature against little people, if you know what I'm saying, okay, they should go to prison. That's it. Lock them up and put them away. It doesn't matter if it's in the United States. It doesn't matter if it's in Italy. It doesn't matter if it's in Colombia. Now, second, I would like to show you something. You see the woman behind me, Miss Francia Marquez. I'm going to tell you why she's so special on a number of different things. Not only is she super black, not only is she a super feminist, not only is she super anti-racist, not only does she stand up for the indigenous and the black people of Colombia, she has faced threats to her life. Okay, from powerfully armed groups. And in Colombia, when somebody makes those type of threats to your life, it's something very serious. You want to know why? Because they will act upon it. It's not like here in the United States, some people just say, but it never happens. Over there, they have no fear of those type of things. Before she became vice president, she stood up for a lot of people in the most impoverished areas. And that's why she rose to power and became the vice president of Colombia. That's one of the most important parts. The second most important part, which completely destroys any type of counter argument that you have, she was vice president for 4 years. Okay, and she was the person who was second in command of the government. Second in command of the government. Should the president go pass away, she would replace him, and she'll be the commander in chief. Not once did she say, "Hey, you guys are being racist by putting the Passport Bros faces all over the internet. Hey, you guys are being racist." No, she's not. Okay, and she told the president of Colombia to his face that there's racists amongst people in his cabinet. That they exist within the different political groups, and that they were trying to shut her down. Okay, she had problems with the president of Colombia, and the president of Colombia, who is supposedly a very liberal person who is leaning towards the justice and equality of all races and religions and everything else. She told him to his face. This is a woman who has absolutely no fear. So how are you going to tell us that we are discriminating a certain group of people? And how come you never mentioned her until I mentioned her? I started mentioning her about like a good 6 months ago, probably. I think probably. Okay, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more than that. Why is it that none of you, in her entire 4 years of Passport Bros being detained and deported from Colombia, why is it that none of you mentioned to her? Why didn't you petition to her? Why she never said anything? You want to know why? Because she's a super feminist, and she made many comments, okay, on video, on journals, to the news stations, that she does not want sex tourism. She does not want S tourism to go to Colombia. Why is it that you guys cannot wrap your head around it? Why is it that you want to deflect? And I don't appreciate your little comment. We said I think you should focus on other things. This is my damn channel. Excuse my language. You are not a Colombian, and you cannot tell me what to do. Especially when I'm defending Colombia. And when I told you that this reminds me of the 30s and 40s and 50s, you say you cannot compare. I'm not comparing the suffering. I'm comparing the fact that you guys are trying to shut me down, trying to shut me up in the same way that people tried to shut down people during the civil rights era, or even before the civil rights era, when people are complaining, say, "Hey, that this is wrong." And when I'm saying that, "Hey, this is wrong," guess who's backing me up? The person behind me. And Miss Francia Marquez is very brutal in her assessment, and she's not powerless. Okay, she is a very powerful political leader. Should in fact she find out who exactly is saying what, I can guarantee you that the person is never stepping into Colombia ever again. She has a lot of political power between the indigenous groups, between a lot of liberal groups, between Afro Latinos in Colombia. She is very proudly anti-colonialist. She's very proudly black. She's very proudly feminist. Okay, and she said it many times that she does not want men and who go to Colombia to exploit women and children. Okay, and that's including the passport bros. She was supporting Migration Colombia. All right, and she could tell Migration Colombia certain things, and people will say, "Well, the vice president can't do much." She has a voice, and she's spoken about it many, many times. Okay, now had she been became president, is something will happen to Gustavo Petro. I guarantee you that the passport bros will go be more deterred even more strongly. I can guarantee you she will go hard. This is a woman who does not fear losing her life. She does not fear being deleted. You understand me?